Economists tell us, spend the money, invest the money for those who need it the most, because they will spend it. It will be a stimulus, or at least a stabilization and that's a good thing.
The argument is over how much is appropriate at this particular juncture as we struggle to get the economy back.
According to state officials in Connecticut, healthcare workers, grocery store employees, and private sector employees who staffed vital services during the first 2 years of the crisis can begin applying for up to $1,000. It won't be clear until early October where the applicants will receive as much as $1,000, and that's because legislators and the governor, Ned Lamont, allocated just $30 million for the program. He said that Connecticut's essential workers have gone above and beyond during the crisis to keep the state running and safe. The new premium pay program is another way for us to return the favor, for these funds are truly meaningful. Every essential worker needs to know that they're available. To be eligible, an applicant must have worked between March 10th and May 7th of 2022 in one of these occupations that the state has listed. Some of the frontline workers in these categories include healthcare personnel. Eligible applicants must earn at least. Some of the frontline workers in these categories include healthcare personnel, food and agricultural workers, grocery store staff, and public transit workers. Applicants must earn less than $150,000 per year and cannot be employed by a federal or state entity. Full-time workers who earn less than $100,000 can apply for a $1,000 grant. Those earning more than $100,000 but less than $150,000 are eligible for grants on a sliding scale, ranging as low as $200. Part-timers working less than 30 hours a week can apply for a $500 grant. The application period will run until October 1st, and the goal is to process requests within a 60-day window. And for the company of Lowe's, the CEO said that in recognition of high inflation, we're providing $55 million in bonuses to our hourly frontline associates this quarter. And though there has been a slight decrease in gas and travel costs, recently the impacts of inflation are still affecting Americans, making it tougher for families to afford groceries and other essential goods. Microsoft, ExxonMobil, Walmart, USA have also offered bonuses, pay raises, and even gift cards to employees. But still, many of the nation's employers are still not paying their workers a living wage. The company website states that Lowe's employs around 300,000 associates, but it has not specified how much money each worker will receive and over what time period.
Between the White House and administration and Democrats up on Capitol Hill. Earlier today, both the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and the Senate Republican leader, the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, were on CNBC, and they explained really the fundamental philosophical dilemma here, which is all about how much is the U.S. government going to spend. Here's what they said.
Back on its feet and get the country in a place where it can sustain itself until we get a vaccine.
Now, Melissa, lawmakers had talked about an idea of having a deal by Friday morning. It looks like there's not a whole lot of time to pull something that big together by that timeline. But one of the questions about this meeting on Capitol Hill that's going on now is, can they at least agree to that price tag? Can they come up with a figure? Republicans have been around $1 trillion. Democrats have been $3 trillion or higher. Can they agree on a compromise figure? Can they just simply call it $2 trillion and start negotiating about what's going to be in there? That might be something that's doable this hour, but we'll wait and see what they say when they come out of those closed doors.
That Friday deadline is tomorrow Friday, right, Eamon? Not next Friday, not the following. It's tomorrow Friday. Right. And then the Senate goes on a scheduled recess.
Right. So the idea that they're going to have something by tomorrow is looking increasingly far-fetched, I think you'd say.
And the Senate would still go to recess?
Yeah, look, there's a possibility.
Tonight.
And Joe, I never had a doubt. Joe had an operation on his shoulder. I just want you to know it wasn't because of anything we did. He's in great shape. And our whip, Clyburn, you're amazing, and I am reminded often by my staff, were not for you, your wife telling you to endorse me, I wouldn't be standing there. But thank you very, very much. And also, Congresswoman
Nancy Pelosi is now preparing a vote on Democrats' brand new stimulus checks. Bernie Sanders is also working with lawmakers to push for the renewal of a monthly stimulus check, everybody. So you want to be sure to continue watching. To qualify for the amount, a Montana resident must have been a resident of the state for the whole tax year, which started on January 1st, 2021, and they must have also filed several documents. Additionally, eligible residents must have not been claiming a dependent by another taxpayer. And the amount of money they entered in line for 2021 says that you must be greater than zero. This rebate will be sent via direct deposit or mail, depending on how a state taxpayer requested a refund or paid taxes on the most recent state income tax return. People who submitted and requested the refund through direct deposit will likewise have this rebate sent to them automatically, while those who requested the refund as paper check will get this rebate in the mail. It's essential for people to get the stimulus check they deserve. We have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and Sddi. Exciting news. Make sure to keep an eye on your mailbox. If you reside in one of these states, you can expect to see financial relief very fast. Now, negotiations are continuing on state inflation relief checks. In the state of Alabama, a proposed income tax rebate is still moving forward, but at a much reduced amount. An Alabama Senate committee has approved an income tax rebate of $100 for most filers. That is $300 less than the rebate first processed by the Alabama governor. It's a way to redistribute the state's largest budget surplus. Governor Ivey said at an event, "It's only right while we still acknowledge we are recording revenues far exceeding normal and sustainable levels. We give a fair share of this money directly back to the people." Under the new proposal, the cost of the rebate will go from $1 billion to $275 million. The rebates funds will come out from a larger $2.8 billion spending package currently under debate. The payments still need to be voted on by the Alabama legislature and signed into law before they can go into effect. Meanwhile, a neighboring state is already sending out its second major tax rebate soon. Most Georgia taxpayers have been receiving income taxes and tax rebates early this week. The funds are made possible by the recently passed House bill, and the bill allows for the redistribution of the state's $6 billion surplus back to residents. Some filers, solo filers, receive $250, heads of households filers get $375, and couples are due $500. The size of the rebate cannot be bigger than the taxpayer's tax liability. New Mexico residents can also look forward to upcoming rebates, and the New Mexico governor says the latest round of rebates will go out in mid-June. Thanks to a bill passed by lawmakers during the 2023 session, New Mexico residents who had previously filed taxes will get another round of rebates. Single tax filers will get $500, married couples, heads of households, and surviving spouses will get $1,000. Taxpayers who use direct deposit when filing will get the latest round of rebate checks very fast. But those who are in 2021 New Mexico income tax returns will get an automatic rebate. If you don't even file 2021 returns but still want to, you have until May 23rd to do this done. And now New Jersey residents are still waiting for their state relief payments and can expect to receive them soon. Nearly a month after the first property tax rebate payments are sent out, the process is winding down as the State Department of Treasury works through the remainder of the application to issue payments. A spokesperson confirmed that the Treasury Department has already issued nearly 1 million payments. And now, officials announced last month that the first batch of payments were made to residents who signed up for direct deposit.
Flying over it is devastating. There's been historic tornadoes and flooding in the Midwest and the Southeast. And just last week across the East Coast and Midwest, we saw what you've already seen here in California. Millions of Americans sheltering indoors. The air not safe to breathe, orange haze covering the sky. It's incredible. By the way, to address those wildfire smoke that's coming from Canada, we're sharing cutting-edge technology that's already used here in California to help detect early fires and help them in sending, in addition to that, firefighters and tankers as well. Folks, the impacts we're seeing in climate change are only going to get more frequent and more ferocious and more costly. Last year alone, natural disasters in America caused $165 billion in damage. Just last year alone, $165 billion in damage. But the worsening impacts are not inevitable. Building on our incredible effort locally,